all our wonderful audience here in the studio and everybody at home.
The star of our show today is the cake. It's the Hudson Halls chocolate mousse Tia Maria cake. So we're going to do that and some festive things as well. I actually microwaved 200 grams of chocolate in the microwave just before we started the show. You can actually do this if you haven't got a microwave over a saucepan on the top of a gas stove if you want to. 200 grams is about 8 ounces of chocolate. Now we're using a dark cooking chocolate here. If you can't get dark cooking chocolate, then I suggest you use any dark chocolate that you eat yourself. But it's got to be lovely and smooth like that and creamy. Don't, if you can help it, get any liquid into there, otherwise it will have a tendency to go hard and all go curdly. Now we've separated 3 eggs. I'm putting 3 yolks straight away. Yolks! Do you like that? Wasn't very funny, I don't think.
I'm glad they didn't laugh. Before you do that, can I start the egg whites?
Yes,
because I'll never get them done in time.
That's 3. Now stir that round, and that warmth of that chocolate slightly cooks those yolks. Now we need for this 2 syrups. I'll put my cheers. Oh, you're jealous, does it? Thirsty? Yeah, I bet you are. You have to wait. We did half a cup of water and 2 tablespoons of sugar. Bring it to the boil and boil it for 5 minutes. Let it go cool, and then to that syrup, we add now a measure of Tia Maria. And in this, we have half a cup of Tia Maria to go into that half a cup of syrup. Now, if you don't want to use Tia Maria, make that syrup from 1 cup of water, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and then put into it when it's hot and starting to cool down, 2 teaspoons of instant coffee powder. And that will give you a non-alcoholic version. Not as much fun, but certainly a lot cheaper. Now, the other syrup we need for that, that's just a syrup, so I'll leave that to one side, that's cold. Now, the next thing we need for this is some gelatin to go into this mousse mixture here. So what we do with that, I have another, this time only a 1/4 cup of water, which I'm bringing up to the boil, and I add about a tablespoon of powdered gelatin to it. And then...
It's nice here, isn't it?
See if that... actually, I'm going to pop that in there and then I'll put it in that saucepan because it's not heating up quite as quickly as I'd hoped. Just stir that around until it dissolves. I'll show you in a minute. If it doesn't dissolve instantly... Peter, you knew you'd finished yet!
Well, I'm here.
I know, but I wondered if you'd finished doing all that.
Didn't come in for the ride.
All right. Now, when this is dissolved, I'm going to tip this in there to show you that it has dissolved. What are you saying? What's he saying? This is
Get on with what you're doing.
A 1/4 cup of water and
I want to make my
just
entrance.
a tablespoon, just a moment, of gelatin. Mix that together like that, and then add to that again a 1/4 cup.
Finished?
No! A 1/4 cup of Tia Maria. Now again, if you don't want to use Tia Maria, it will be 3/4 cups of water, 1 tablespoon of gelatin, and a teaspoon of instant coffee powder. So that goes now into this, mixed into here. While it's still hot, it doesn't matter. You may now come in.
It's lovely to be with you all. I don't stay very long. There's your egg whites.
All right. Ah, that's it, thank you. Now just put these whites of the 3 eggs.
Evening.
Well, they say television is meant to be visual. Put in there 3 egg whites and just cut that into the chocolate quickly. It doesn't matter if you just, as long as you use a spatula, do it quickly so that they all amalgamate like so. Get it mixed as well as possible. You finished? And lastly, what we add to it now, which Peter's been doing very quietly on the other side, is 1 cup of cream.
It's very slimming, very slimming.
Now, this is a very rich cake, but in actual fact, when you see the end result, you'll realise it will serve 12 people. Now, what you're supposed to do with this is put it in the fridge and stir it every now and again for about 20 minutes. Keep stirring it, or every 2 or 3 minutes or so, or 5 minutes, until it starts to thicken up. But as we haven't got that much time, we don't want to keep you waiting around that long, I'm going to put it in some ice water and keep stirring it and see if I can bring it down and make it cooler while Peter carries on.
Oh, Lord, I'm not ready. Now, I've just got a pot of boiling water here in a glass bowl, and I'm melting some dark chocolate here, unsweetened chocolate. Now, this is for a reason later on, so the quantity doesn't matter. We're going to glaze some things in chocolate, so we just wanted to see what we're about if we ever get it done. Chocolate goes everywhere. I can't get those off. Now, the next thing we're going to do is prepare this cake. Now, we've done it here in a spring-formed tin, and the principle of this is it's so easy to get out. You just flick it like that, lift it up, and there it is. Now, I've got to cut this. I want all this. The magic of everything, I've got to cut this into 4. So you put the bottom back in the tin like this because you've got to put... I do this every time. I always forget to do this. Lock it first, put the bottom back.
Your syrup, sir.
Oh, thank you, thank you. May I have a brush? Now, I've got to cut this in 4, so I've got a brush, whirly...
Sir.
Thank you, Halls. Could you clean my shoes while you're there?
Oh, I'm not
Just
bending
cut
down
this
for that.
You couldn't, you're too fat. Cut this in half. Now, I've got one of these marvellous whirly-gig boards here, so just... Oh, I haven't got right round. Cut that in half carefully like that. And with this lovely thin cake, I've got to cut it again in half. My hair catches a light on that stove, I'll be thrilled. I've got little enough left. So just take this, the heat. But it is important that you get this into 4 slices if you can, because this, when we layer this up with all the wonderful mousse afterwards, this is an essential part to it. So there's 2. It's terribly interesting, isn't it? Glasses have come down. I've got my glasses glued to my nose, and the heat in here has melted them.
It's true, too.
It's true.
When they stuck them on last week and they put them on there, and all this glue went all goo down there like that. And I mean, you can imagine when he turned sideways, it
Right, shut
bolting.
up. I'm on now. Now, I've cut this into 4, so it doesn't matter which part of this cake you take to start off with. So put one piece in the bottom like that, and this is the syrup that David did. So brush this lavishly with this syrup, because what we're going to make is an extremely wet mousse cake. Rich, the mousse won't touch it in America.
You kidding?
There's that bit.
This is going to be the wettest mousse cake in history. You don't need a spoon.
I like to do it with the back of a spoon.
You want a bet?
Oh, is it not set?
No. It hasn't gone down enough. It should be much thicker than this, but we'll show you the principle anyway.
We've got another one.
You just spoon, yeah.
Oh, it will? Look,
well, we had to make one. This is supposed to be lovely and thick and gooey.
But you can see the principle of this, that if you put it in the refrigerator to firm up, it would make a much firmer... Oh, God, it's pure slop.
Ah, but tasty slop.
Lovely. Another layer of the... Would you get out of my way, please? There's my side.
Well, you'd laid it up, then.
Oh, you would. But we're also going to chill this afterwards, so even if it is a bit loose like this, it will firm up in the refrigerator.
Loose?
Don't be rude.
I've seen loose.
Get on with it, please.
Good job it's this colour and not another colour, otherwise it could look awful, couldn't it?
So just even when it is as soft as this, spread it over with the back of a spoon to get it into those corners.
Still the principle's the same.
And then another layer of cake, just gently on there, brushed again with the liquor, but make sure you leave enough for the very last layer, because otherwise you'll have it too... Oh, I've slipped a bit. Oh. Oh, that's it.
This one's going to be a real ripper when it sets.
Oh, here comes the lovely bit.
Oh, wait a minute. You want one
more
more
back
of
of my
these
spoon.
on there? Now, the thing is, as I say, if you leave this for about 20 minutes in the fridge, it will start to set, and then it will get... What are you doing? You've dribbled everything over everywhere.
Well, the thing is burning up my sleeve, if you don't mind. Thank you very much.
I'll take this away anyway.
Now, with the top of this layer has actually broken, so it doesn't really matter, because it's going to all come together. Oh, damn. Wasn't meant to do that bit. Oh, I'm short of a bit of cake, you know.
The old adage in show business, they always say, never mind what happens early, it's always all right on the night. This is not one of those nights.
Be quiet. So it doesn't matter if you just turn it upside down when you serve it out. Brush the top with that. You can. the bottom was all right, and then just put this in the refrigerator and keep it cool for several hours, or preferably still overnight, because all the flavours go right through this and imbue it with the most beautiful taste. So that's going straight in the oven, in the refrigerator, that's the thing up here, to chill.
Now, if you've got any of this left over, which we have, you wouldn't have... Look, if you're using a 9-inch cake tin, you wouldn't really have it that much left over, I can assure you, if it's set properly and is mousse-like. But if you do have any left over, just put some into some glasses, and we're going to decorate that later on, I hope, with some cream that we've done specially, and also, too, we're going to do it with some chocolate, which is done in like a flake style. Now, I'll just leave those over there for the moment. They don't look terribly attractive, but we'll tidy them up at the minute. Now, also, too, what I want to do is if you've got any cake left over, right, and you want to get some cake, and you buy a cake to fit that tin, it's too big, and you have to cut it to fit into that tin, which is what we actually did today, to be honest, then use that cake, don't throw it away, just keep it up like that, and then put some fruit juice on it, for example, just to moisten it, and then some ice cream or something like that, and serve it for the children, because that would be really great.
Now, I've just been beating, I've just separated an egg here, the egg white I want. Just beat it here till it's slightly frothy. What I'm going to do is glaze some fruits, which you'll see the end result. I've got some caster sugar here. I don't want the cream at the moment. And I've got just an assortment of fruits that are available at the market at the time, or in the fruit shops. You can either... I haven't got a spoon. You can either just roll them through the egg white and then just dust them with the caster sugar and put them on a plate. The idea is to make them look as though they're frosted with frost, but I'm sure you know what frost is in England. But a strawberry, I know...
It's the summer.
That's true. Don't be rude. Happens in New Zealand as well. Just dust these. Now, with sugar, and you can do raspberries. These are lovely. Red currants look pretty. But we have done a dish which you'll see at the end of just a compilation of all these desserts. Or these fruits, I should say.
What about leaves?
I was going to say in the moment, if you'd shut your mouth, you've had a long enough. You can do little little leaves like this.
I'll tell you what, they wouldn't fit Eve, one of those that size.
You don't know. But what the principle of these is, you lay them out preferably on a rack, and they will dry, and the sugar turns crystalline and very white, and they look as though they're frosted. Don't put them all entirely over. Leave some of the fruit to show out to give the colour. And then either put them on a rack, as I said, to dry and let the air go round, or a good idea is to put them, if you haven't got that sort of a rack, put them on a piece of paper on a plate and put them in the airing cupboard, and they dry beautifully. So they're just some suggestions, and they're nice things for children to do, because I'm not very keen. We do lots of toffeed fruits that you can do like that with hot caramel, and I'm not keen on children doing anything like that because it's too dangerous. This is something they can do and come out with a very nice dessert for something that you want. But it's just something festive for during the year, for any special thing you want to do.
Can I have that chocolate emulsion, please?
I hope so, with great pleasure.
Oh,
it's nearly steamed my wig off.
You've got a wig. Now, we've just melted some more chocolate there, and I have got... Whee! It's hot.
Told you it was hot.
I've got here... I have here a chilled board. Now, you just spread some of this melted chocolate on the board like this, and all we're going to do is to make just some curls of, not curls, but some flaked chocolate to act as a decoration. Now, you're saying, look at him, isn't he posh, isn't he posh? Well, they asked that earlier, didn't they? You don't have to have... how many of you have got one of these boards, a marble board at home? No. Not one?
Not one of you.
Right. Now, don't panic, because you don't have to have one. All you need to do is to put your baking tin in the fridge, let it go cold, and then, when that's cooled down, you can do exactly the same as I'm going to try and do here. Now, all you do when it has cooled down is just with a spatula or any straight-edged...
Jobs have got to be done.
Any straight-edged knife, just curl this along like this until it just flakes up. Now, I know you can buy a proprietary brand of flake, but this is actually cheaper. Much cheaper.
Oh, that is good.
Right? Just flake that around. It's not easy, especially when you're doing it on your own if the board's moving. Whoops! I don't want to get off the edge. But you get these flake... Oh! Honey, I do that. You get these flaked bits, as you can see there, like that. All right? Now, that you can use on a dessert, and we'll do that later on. Now, the other thing that we're going to do too, or try to attempt to do, is as Peter frosted some of those leaves, so you can coat them with chocolate. Use some of that chocolate, go nearer the edge, let it cool down a little bit, and just brush the leaf. Make sure you've washed it thoroughly and dried it, rinsed it and dried it. And just brush the leaf right to the very, very edge. You've seen this done before, I know that, but it's just a reminder because sometimes you forget these things and you really want to do them properly again. So that's one of the leaves. You can use any shape, virtually any shaped leaf, but as I say, give it a good thick coating.
Maple leaves?
Yeah, you could use maple leaves. Well, this is not far off a maple leaf, really, an ivy leaf.
Neither are you. Oh, I can't be bothered washing up.
What are you doing?
I'm washing up.
Now, you can't do that at home either. Now, when you've got those leaves like that,
servants.
pop them in the fridge, leave them in the fridge for a few minutes, take them out and recoat them again with some more chocolate. So you get a very thick coating of chocolate.
There you are, there's some.
And then when you're finished, all you do is peel the leaves off the back, and then you've got these chocolate shapes there like so, which are very good again for decoration. And you'll see those used also in the show.
There's your cream, maestro.
Your cream, thank
and
you
I'll
very
go
much.
and get all the lovely ones.
Listen, would you do me a terribly kind favour?
Oh, yes, what would you like
Mine,
to
it's
do?
hot.
You're not joking, you fool.
If you take some of that off
Right.
for me. Oh, I was going to ask you to take... Oh, that's easy. Now, I'll just put those to one side there for a minute. Now, when you've got... have you ever worked with chocolate? It goes everywhere. You need to be a confectionist, really. When you've got some sweetened cream and you've piped whatever you want to use and you've got some left over... Now, these are little tips, OK? As long as you've sweetened it with a little bit of, say... what's the fine sugar? Icing sugar. Icing sugar, thank you. You just do it with a little bit of icing sugar, and then you can freeze it. Now, have you ever frozen cream before? Yeah. Yes, you have? How? Straight? Whipped. Exactly. You can freeze cream when it's whipped. If you sweeten it, just do some rosettes, for example, like this. One of these we will use later on. Or, what we've done also tonight is made a larger, like as though you were going to do a meringue basket, and keep piping it up like that.
The shop was shut. I had to get
freeze
these
those,
instead.
just leave them, and freeze those. Now, those two things there, the rosettes
So
and that can be frozen, and then you can put those into a plastic bag once they're frozen and leave them, and they'll keep up to a month in the freezer. Now, to give you an example of how you can use them, here's several simple examples. First of all, we've got here, they're slightly frosted because they've just come out of the freezer. They've got here some coffee ice cream with chocolate on the top and just a chocolate-flavoured sauce. The second one is done with blueberries and a raspberry sauce. You see that one? The third one is just done with a peach, half a peach, and again some raspberry sauce over the top. And the final one is done with kiwi fruit, just pureed, and then again with just strawberries over the top. So they're just four very, very simple ideas by using these frozen desserts like that. But now we come to the main event, and that's unmasking the cake. You've got 5 minutes,
We're coming
Pete.
to the main event, is cheers to everybody. And I'll have some more, as Oliver said.
Right. Here you are.
It's hot in here.
Do you want to hurry up then? Get it going.
Don't tell me to hurry up. Now, this is it. Love it. Now, you want a spatula, you want a knife, you want some sugar, and you want a little secret thing there. Now, this is the cake. Now, as I said, oh, boy, it's hot in here. This is a spring-form pan, which makes it easy to get out. So just take a spatula and cut round the edge of this. It's all swollen up. It's got so much liquor in it. Poor thing, I think, has collapsed. Anyhow, hopefully this is going to release it. So you just release this wonderful thing. Oh, it did too. Look at that, isn't it? Marvellous. And this is really, I mean, it's disgusting, but it's lovely. And just carefully with a spatula.
That's going to be the easiest.
If I could only get it off the bottom of the thing. That's
got
it.
it.
Yeah, that's it. Just take it off the bottom of the tin. Now, it's a bit rough around the edges there. If
Well, I
you
can
wanted
smooth
to.
it round, actually.
Excuse me. Get on with your own jobs. You've had plenty of time. Just, if you wish to, trim the edges round like that, just to smooth that off, if you wanted to. But, excuse me, I shouldn't lick my fingers, I know. And then we've just got a little secret implement here. Then just with icing sugars, this is super rich. Dust it very liberally, like the snow you get here every Christmas. You'll know exactly how thick I mean. It's lovely, I love it. Look, it's like Noel.
It's sort of like dandruff.
How awful. And then what we've done here, and with steady, unshaking hands...
You've got 3 minutes.
With steady, unshaking
yeah.
hands, you remove that... Just leave it alone! It's my section. What we did was cut out H&H, so what you could do at home yourself is an easy way of decorating it as plain sponge or something like that you want to do. Cut your own initials or a word or a sentiment, put it on the cake, and what we've done there is just dusted it as you saw and come out with our own... That's a bit, you know, you've got to do a bit of flash.
Bit of flash.
So that's a very simple cake. It is expensive with its ingredients, we must be fair, but you can realise how rich that is when you see us actually cut it. That will serve at least 12 people, because you'd only give them a very... unless they're absolute pigs.
Now, can I just tell you one thing about it? It does keep
blow.
very
You can
well.
blow or am I?
You blow. Both blow. Ready? Happy birthday to George.
And that's just trimming up the plate so that it looks tidy.
What I was going to say was, when you've started to cut this, if you're on your own, for example, there's just two of you and you cut a little bit, if you put some of that cling wrap stuff on it afterwards, it will keep very well in the fridge for a few days. Also, too, remember that you don't have to use Tia Maria. You can use the extra water, as we've said in the recipe, and then use coffee powder to give you that coffee
and a
chocolate
frightfully
flavour.
essential thing, don't wear black when you're icing it. Wear a nice pale
So
dress
anyway,
or
can
a
we
white
take this
apron.
to the table?
Yes, I think so. Why not?
And we'll go and see the end results of the other things we've done as well. After you, Pierre.
Thank you. Oh, every day is a holiday. Every day,
It's the marvel.
every day is a holiday.
Right.
Excuse me.
Cheers, everybody.
It's a long way from the kitchen to the dining room. Yes, good health. Now, as we said here when I was frosting the... or I said when I was frosting the fruit, here we've come to just a suggestion, an idea here. This is pineapple, grapes, strawberries. I iced some little leaves, here some pears. But it's just a thought as a nice centrepiece. And of course, the thing is, it's all edible, and that's the main thing.
The other thing, too, there's the mousse with just some of that frozen cream on top and a little bit of chocolate that we scraped up off that marble there, which, as I say, you can do on the tin, you know, if you want to. And we just had some extra chocolate, so you just dip some strawberries or any fruit in chocolate. That's a nice idea,
show
too.
everybody that as well.
Now, we've got here just these little leaves, the ivy leaves, with some of those tiny...
I think it was. Can you just...
Thank you. It makes a nice touch to go with the cake to have just a little red currants or any berries like that, just frosted with the ivy leaves. And so it's quite
I know
simple.
it's rude to lick your fingers, but there is the cake, as you can see, the 4 layers. It's very rich. We've done that. We think that's quite an attractive look to it, and I'm dying to try it. Excuse me.
So anyway, to you here in the audience, thank you very much for coming in. And to you at home as well, we've enjoyed having you with us on the show. Till we meet again, God bless. Wow! Now I can plug it. Is it lovely? It is wet.
It's mine.
No, I don't laugh at that. It's gorgeous.
It is. It's
Absolutely. Every time. Look at this little berry, look. They're beautiful too.
There's a buttery though.
Lovely. Fattening Pete, but it's worth the effort. Don't you think so?
You don't need that many powder.
I know. And all that fruit over there too, that's lovely. Good for party.
Oh, well, it's a nice birthday cake for George, isn't it?
Yeah. You can have that.
Unburden yourself with the help of the experts next. Agony Hour lends us